No, last night actually I posted a video on Facebook by Dr. Milton Mills talking about how only plants make protein. And I'll post a clip of it just now.
Talk about protein first. As I've stated before, all protein is made by plants. No animal makes protein. Any protein that is found in animal tissues is recycled plant protein. So there is plenty of protein in plant foods. And as I said, all protein is originally made by plants. And it's best to cut out the middleman and get your protein directly from the plant sources.
And the reason I posted it is because a lot of people, since I became vegan, are concerned about where I get my protein from and why I went vegan and deficiencies, and also because I'm a new mom with a baby who's essentially going to be vegan his whole life, and they are concerned where he's gonna get his protein from, how he's gonna grow, and him suffering. Look at him. Look how big he is. He's only 10 months and he's this big. Does he look like he's deficient of anything? Anyways, people have concerns, obviously, and they're genuine concerns because of the way we've been brought up, and I know I'm very familiar with those concerns because I was brought up eating meat as well, and dairy and milk, under the premise that that's where you get your protein from. You have to drink milk because that's where you get your calcium from. I remember being given milk in elementary school because they're like, you're growing kids, you need your calcium. And so I understand the how ingrained those beliefs are in us from our childhood. But that should not completely block out any room in our minds for new information and for progress. You know what they say, when your cup is full, you can't take in any more information, and that's I think what's happened for a long time, where people have been bombarded with so much nutritional information that their cup is full. They can't take in any more. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of new information, not even new. This is old information that just hasn't been popularized as well as the meat industry has successfully popularized their product to the consumer as a health food. So I just wanted to show you guys some of the, I guess, my own nutritional intake. I'm a breastfeeding mom and I've only had breakfast so far, and this is pretty much my everything from my caloric intake to my protein at the moment, to especially the omega, because somebody brought up in a comment actually if this doctor takes any fish oils or omega-3 supplements. So I'm covering omega-3s, both plant-based and fish oil-based, and I'll post a clip of the doctor, what he says about omega-3s.
Omega-3s, that seems to be a really hot topic, that if you go on a vegan or a plant-based diet, that you're not going to be able to get enough omega-3s. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is another thing that makes you want to jump off a building. There are very good sources, plant sources of omega-3. Well, let me just kind of give a sort of a little vignette about so-called fish oils, because all these companies are touting, oh, fish oils as the best source of omega-3s, right? Well, what they don't tell you is that those aren't really fish oils. They're oils that are made by plants, the algae in the ocean. And the only reason that they're in the fish is because, algae grow, little copepods and shrimp eat the algae. Then a smaller fish comes along, eats the shrimp, stores those algae-derived oils in its body. The bigger fish comes along and eats the little fish. And so you get concentration of these plant fats in the fish. The fish didn't make them. The algae did. So they are plant-derived fats. And you can actually go online and find vegan sources of algae-derived omega-3 fatty acids. But there's omega-3 fats in walnuts, soybeans, green leafy vegetables, and legumes, and a whole host of plant foods. Again, the problem in Western countries is that we have too much of the refined omega-6 fats in our body, and that actually prevents our bodies from utilizing omega-3s effectively. So the point is that there are excellent sources of omega-3s in plant foods, but you also need to limit the amount of added oils and refined oils in your body, because those are typically the omega-6 fatty acids, which tend to be pro-inflammatory, and you want to avoid that.
Yeah, and I like to tell people they should keep their ratios of omega-6 to 3 and a 4 to 1, and
Exactly.
kind of not let it get too high.
Right. Whereas the typical American diet, it's 10 to 20 to 1. Which is just
ridiculous.
Yes, yeah. And that's why everybody has got fibromyalgia and headaches and joint pains, because the level of inflammation in our body is ramped up by all of this added oil.
Right. And I like what you said before of you were kind of saying that we should be going for the source instead of kind of like these other fish eating the other fish. And
first of all, fish oils are so laden with toxins that it is a horrible. First of all, no one should be eating it, period, because it's getting back to the oxygen and cigarette smoke analogy. Yeah, there may be omega-3s in there, but there's so much other garbage you don't want to eat it. And again, another way I try to help people conceptualize this is that that a sewage waste plant basically takes all of the stool and stuff that people flush down their toilets, emulsifies it, and dumps it into the water. Well, if I went to a sewage waste plant and took a piece of food and dragged it through that emulsified sewage and offered it to you, you would probably punch me. I mean, nobody would eat that. Well, what people don't understand is that all of that emulsified sewage and other toxic substances that we dump into the ocean, fish breathe by filtering that stuff. So that's why their bodies are so full of things like mercury and dioxins and other toxic substances, because they have to filter all of that filthy water to breathe, and those toxins get taken up and stored into their bodies. And so for toxins alone, fish is something that we should not be eating. But the other thing to remember, it's also animal protein, and it does the same kinds of bad things to our internal organs that land animal protein does.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good point. Just one more follow-up question on omega-3s. I want to ask you, a lot of people bring up DHAs, which is only from animal sources. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So most plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids are 18 carbon long. DHA is a 22 carbon fatty acid, and EPA is a 20 carbon. Well, animals take these plant oils and they can, or the 18 carbon fatty acids, and they elongate them to the 20 and 22 length fatty acids. So our bodies will make enough of our own EPA and DHA if we are, one, getting a good source of omega-3s from plants, but most importantly, if we are not ingesting too much omega.
But I just want to add, I don't take any omega-3, so the stats I'm showing you are from my own dietary intake. This is what I have for breakfast every single day. Later on I'll do another video possibly where I'll show you what I eat the rest of the day.